What modifications have I done to the 12HT? I'll show you. Down inside here we've got a high flow turbo. It's the standard CT26 turbo off it, but I've sent it down to a place in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and they high flowed it for me. So they put a Supra wheel on the front. They've left the wheel on the back is the standard one. So they've just had to bore the housing out, or machine the housing out, and put the Supra wheel on it. Got a water to air intercooler. This works quite well. I've just had these pipes made up, and then I've tried to keep the piping as far away from the engine as possible to get so no heat actually affects these pipes. It works fairly well. The only problem I'd have, because it's a PWR water to air intercooler, the radiator or the heat exchanger on the front is nowhere near big enough. So if you're towing a trailer, or I tow a camper trailer, and it boils the water inside. So I highly recommend not using that exchange. Get another one. The thing that I'm looking at the moment is using just a small car radiator. Toyota have told me they actually use a water to air intercooler on some of their cars, and they're a $400 radiator. So I've either got that option or use just a little car radiator, and they'll both fit and they'll both work a lot better, because you need something probably 3 times the size of this PWR job. Other things is the Airbox, just a custom made Airbox. Had to shape all the bottom of it just to try to fit it in there. 3-inch in, 3-inch out. It's got a K&N air filter inside. Sounds pretty cool when it's under power actually. You can hear a lot of turbo noise coming out of it, so it does sound pretty cool. Well worth it. Make it thick. Like if you're going to build one of these things, make it fairly thick, solid aluminium, because as the body twists, you don't want the lid to twist and let water in. Other things, it's had a port and polished. It's been balanced. It runs really smooth. It's got a 3-inch exhaust, ceramic coating on the dump pipe, ceramic coating on the turbo and on the manifolds. So engine under bonnet temperatures are fairly cool because of that. Most things you can, or 99% of things you can touch it after you've been for a drive, but you can't obviously hold your hand on there. But it is definitely a lot cooler. Just got the oil overflow here. Also done a dual diaphragm brake booster. This thing, best money spent ever. It's off a 80 series Land Cruiser. So they've actually built it out off a 60 series bolt pattern, and obviously the bolt pattern for this part here, but internals is out of an 80 series. So it's called a dual diaphragm, and the brakes are that much better. It's incredible. I've got another just a standard 2-wheel drive car, and the brakes on this one are much better than it. So it definitely makes it like a brand new car to drive, and it stops like a brand new car anyway. So I've still got the drum brakes on the rear, disc brakes on the front. I haven't changed the calipers or the discs on the front. They're standard. I rebuilt them a long time ago, but I hope they're still the standard ones. What else have we got? Dual battery system. Just a Red Arc 1220 here, the BCDC 1220. The radiator, highly recommend getting one that's a good quality one. I know they're about probably $800 for a good quality one. Oh, they are in Australia anyway. But it's highly worth it, because this one here, it's a Chinese one, and I'm going to change it. I just haven't got the spare $800 to change it yet, but I had to pull the hose off the bottom, as I pulled the hose off, it pulled the whole piece of the radiator out. So luckily I was at home and I wasn't on the side of the road somewhere, but to have that happen on the side of the road would just be a bigger pain in the ass than what it's worth. So definitely, if you're going to get a new radiator for your 60, we've got Australian made ones, but wherever you are in the world, make sure you get American made, Australian made, or something like that. Just a really good quality and not Chinese job. Alright, well that's pretty much all I've done to the 12HT, so